Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy E2 Blue coming back at you again. And hey, it's been a hell of a day, hell of a week. Hey, that's the NFL free agency frenzy for you. We missed out on Earl Thomas. Oh well, you got to keep it moving. I know some Cowboy fans are like, it's over. It's not over. It's not over. Like we say this every year, but the team did go 10-6 last year and they went to the playoffs. But I'm going to get into what I feel in a minute, but I did want to say first, the Cowboys did re-sign 2 players today. They re-signed fullback Jamize Olawale. They locked him back in. He's going to be there with Ezekiel Elliott, and I think that they're going to, now that with Kellen Moore being the offensive coordinator, I think they're going to use him more in the running game now, which I think will be good because they can use him as a one set back. They can use him on short yardage because he's a strong guy and he's fast. But we don't know that because they don't utilize him like that besides special teams. Now, he's good on special teams, but we don't see that all the time. So, they also re-signed swing tackle Cam Fleming. He was on the team last year. We got him from the Patriots. Good, solid offensive lineman. He could play different positions on that line. I think that it's good that we locked him up again, a 2-year contract. Whenever Tyron Smith, because Tyron Smith's going to be dealing with his knee and his back pains for the rest of his career. That's just the way that's going to be. Whenever, if for whatever reason he has to go out on the game again, you can put him there and let him you can let him take that spot for a little while. He can hold it down. He can hold down the fort. We got Joe Looney back, so I'm happy about that. But what I wanted to get into for the meat of it, if you don't mind me stepping on my soapbox for a minute and just preach a little bit. This Dallas Cowboys team, it's a lot of people have their opinions about what's going on, and which you should. It sucks because we sit here every offseason and we watch other teams do things. We don't do it. Like right now, it's free agency. Cowboys don't do anything in the first, second, third wave. But understand that the Cowboys haven't been doing that the last couple of seasons. The last time we did that was when we got Greg Hardy, and that burned them. So, and then I'm going to talk about that too, because that's another reason why they act the way they do right now. This team under Jason Garrett, we've been average. I would say as overall, we've been average. We've been average. We've been mediocre. We had good seasons. We had average seasons. We had, but one thing about Garrett is every time you try to fire him, he wins a division or we go to the playoffs. So you can't fire him. This season right here is going to be big because Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones did not re-sign him. They're going to let him play on the last year of his contract and see what he does with this team. But Jason Garrett has to go to the NFC Championship game for him to keep his job. Good luck with that, brother, because you know why? We won a division last year. So you know what that means? We got a first place schedule, bro. So that means we're going to play all those teams that were high in the playoffs. All those teams that won their divisions, we're going to play. First place schedule. It's going to be an uphill battle this season. I'm not saying that we can't do it. We got the talent. And even these talking heads will admit it. Cowboys have the talent. We just can't seem to use them properly. Hold on one second. Let me a little bit of focus in here. A little brighter. Okay, yeah. So with that, I say that should give you the motivation to try to pull out all the damn stops to get this team over this hump to where you need to go. Because if I was the coach, I'm going to tell you right now, I would be telling them, hey, look, Jerry, I know we strapped for money. I know, you're trying to get D-Law done. I would have called D-Law myself, bro. Let's have dinner. You and I, mano a mano. Let's talk about this. Let's see what we can come to a consensus. Because somebody said something very interesting. And they were thinking that it's the agent that his agent that doesn't want him to sign right now because they wanted other players to set the market first. Well, D Ford got signed and he got that bread, son. And I don't think D Ford is is as good as D-Law. I mean, they might be along the same lines, but it's not really the same type of player. You see what I'm saying? So you're not talking about you're comparing apples to apples, but it's like a green apple to a red apple, if you understand what I'm saying. Same guys, but not the same at all. Like they do different things. And different schemes, different systems is what I'm trying to say. So do I think D-Law is worth the money? Yeah, go ahead and sign him. I mean, but they got to figure out something. Another thing that I will also say that these players also have to realize, I understand they need their money. I understand that, you know, the shelf life for an NFL player is short, for the most part, the average. So you got to get your money when you can. I understand that completely. But there's also a money factor to it, as far as it's a team sport. With the salary cap, you can't have stakes on every play. So somebody's got to have a short contract. Somebody can't be balling. Somebody can't be able to go to Ruth Chris every day. So I'm just saying, the contract that they offered him, and I figured out what the numbers were on that. It was like, basically, it was similar to what he was getting a year on the franchise tag, but it was for like, I think 3 or 4 years. But his agent was like, nah. What do you mean, nah? Sign that, bro. And maybe I'm being biased because I'm broke and I ain't no NFL player and I ain't never made millions before. So I would have been, where my pen at? I'd have signed that real quick. But that ain't me. I get it. You know, you're an NFL player. You have your reasons. But the problem is, the longer you take to re-sign this cat, he's not getting that torn labrum fixed. He's not getting it fixed until he gets his full contract. So now we have another dilemma. You wait till July to sign him, then you got to go through the offseason. Him not having a decent offseason, and that's a 3-month. He's not even going to be ready for the regular season. Well, he's definitely going to miss training camp and all the preseason. If he does make it to the first game of the season, he's going to be rusty. And then we're going to be blaming him for not getting his sacks in the season because he's rusty. So it's going to be full circle. So with that being said, you got that part. Now they got to figure out something with that, because there's already animosity with that. He's already pissed off, and you can't have a pissed off captain, veteran guy on your team, because then that reflects on the other players, because they're looking like, oh, I'm not even close to where D-Law is in playing skill. And I know if they didn't keep him, I know that when my contract is up, I might as well just go outside and look at another team, because I know they ain't going to be thinking about me. So I get why they're signing these smaller contract guys, because you got to get them out the way. You know, at least you don't have to worry about that later. But that is the meat. That is your main course. You got to get D-Law done. A lot of that has to do with them trying to figure out the parameters of Dak's contract. But nonetheless, you look at this team in the last decade, and I want to say, forget it. I'll go all the way back to the Super Bowl. We ain't won a Super Bowl since after the 95 season. We ain't won an NFC championship since then either. The Cowboys did not. Jason Garrett is on his prove it to me year. Again, under his tutelage, we have been average. A bunch of 8-8 seasons, 10-6, 11-5. We had some 12-4s and some 13-3s as well. We won a division 3 times in the last 4 years. I mean, I'm sorry, 3 in the last 5. So Dak Prescott is now a quarterback. Now, before I even get into that, let's take it back. When Wade Wilson was on this team and the team stopped playing for him and he got cut. I mean, he got fired halfway through the season. Jason Garrett took the job over. And again, he was the offensive coordinator at the time. I feel like that Jason Garrett should have been gone at that time too. But for whatever reason, they wanted to give Jason Garrett a chance. Jason Garrett has been here ever since. Now, I don't hate Jason Garrett, but the thing that irritates me about Jason Garrett is he's just so damn conservative. It's like when you see him, it's like he's the same way all the time. He wears the same ensemble for training camp. Long sleeve, cowboy shirt, cowboy shorts in his interview, wearing blue. It's just the same all the time. I can sit there. You can put together all of his press conferences throughout all the seasons that he's been the coach of this team and put them together in a compilation, and they all sound like the same damn interview. What is this thing he says? Yeah, he's a great player. He has been for a long time. I get tired of hearing that. I get tired of hearing, yeah, we got to get better in all three phases of the game. Offense, defense, and the kicking game. You get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. It's like, come on, bro, switch it up. You get into the game. And I know that Jason Garrett is a Monday through Saturday coach, because when it comes Sunday, he lets his coordinators run the game, which is fine. But you have to have able-bodied coordinators as well. Your job on game day is to, in 2-minute drills, handle challenges, things of that nature, stuff that needs your requirement for. But you let your coordinators and your secondary coaches do their thing. I'm all for that. But now I know some of these players really don't like Jason Garrett. They respect him. They still listen to his philosophy because obviously they haven't quit. And I think a lot of that has to do with Dak Prescott. You look at what Jason Hatcher said about Tony Romo. Me personally, I already knew this. I knew this when Tony Romo was here. And it was apparent when Tony Romo was getting ready to leave and Dak Prescott got here. And he kind of didn't really show Dak certain things. It was Mark Sanchez that was really talking to Dak. It was not Tony Romo, for those of you that don't know that. So Tony Romo was not, and everybody keeps saying that Tony Romo will be a great offensive coordinator for this team. I don't know about that. I know that he knows plays very well. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't be a great one, but what I'm saying is the type of guy Tony Romo is, he's not I don't want to say selfish, but like Jason Hatcher said, he always divided himself between him and the other players. You never seen him go out and hang out with other guys outside of Jason Witten and maybe a running back here or there. He was always with Jerry Jones and watching basketball games and going to different events and concerts and things of that nature. But again, as your quarterback, you're supposed to be the leader of, that's your flock. You are the head duck. And these are your duckies. These are all your guys that are here for you. They're here for you. That's what I love about Dak Prescott. He's a young guy. He don't throw nobody under the bus. When shit hits the fan, he takes the credit for it when it's bad. And what I'm telling you is the fact that this team will go to war for him. When Zach Martin said, that's my quarterback and I will go to war for him, that's deep. When your offensive linemen are going to go to war for you, bro, that's deep. So all you guys saying that Dak is some trash, shut the hell up. Sick of this. Y'all killing me with this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to do it. R. Kelly. I had to do it. Y'all killing me with this shit. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to do it. That was hilarious. But again, seriously though, I'm dead ass right now. You look at how things have changed from when Tony Romo to now with Dak Prescott. That level of mediocrity has to stop today, this season. Because if it doesn't, we're going to sit here as fans every damn offseason saying, oh, what are the Cowboys going to do? What are we going to do? What the hell are we going to do? And I understand that, I understand why the Dallas Cowboys don't go big in free agency. They've been burned. Now, since we're talking about Jason Hatcher, not that they were burned by him, but again, he came in here, he was a 2, 3, 4 sack player that after that he came in and had 11 sacks, and then he went to the Redskins, then bust a grape. We brought in Henry Melton. He was one of Rob Marinelli's guys from the Buccaneers. He came in here. He had some sacks. He had a decent season. Then he got injured and never to be heard from again. One of my frat brothers, George Selfie, I actually met him when he was on the Dallas Cowboys, when my fraternity, we had our 100-year centennial celebration here in D.C., in the D.C. area. I actually met him in person or whatever. I hit him up on Twitter and we met up or whatever. But yeah, like George Selby was a real cool guy. I loved him to death. I hung out with him while he was here and everything. But George Selby came from the Giants, came to Cowboys, not well known at all. Rob Marinelli made him a player, and he fell off after that. And we got Brandon Carr in free agency, $50 million man. You remember that? The Carr sweepstakes. It was like everybody was writing. It was a big thing in free agency. We got him. I love Brandon Carr. I will always love Brandon Carr. He's a very solid player. Never missed a game in his career, to the point that even the Ravens picked up his option to keep him. Obviously, they see that too. I think that Brandon Carr would have been even better for this team if he was here now when Chris Richard was here, because the way that Chris Richard runs his secondary, he plays guys to the strength of what Brandon Carr is. Brandon Carr is more of a press guy. He's not too much of a zone guy. You can't put him in zone 100% of the time. He's a press man. So you got to get him up on the guy because he will body a guy. That's what I do love about Brandon Carr. But again, was he worth $50 million? Hell no. Are a lot of these cornerbacks out here worth that? Hell no. But what I'm saying is that's the way the market works. So a lot of these teams going out here spending big money, sometimes it works. A lot of times it don't. You go out here, just because you put a big name on a team with other big names, it doesn't always work that way. And I'll explain that in a second. But the last person that we got in free agency that was a household name, Greg Hardy. You see what happened with that. Missing meetings, becoming a cancer in the locker room, fighting other players and coaches. He got into it with what was his name? Our old special teams coach. I think that's with the Raiders now. What was his name? D. Camillus. Yeah, so he fought D. Camillus, and good riddance to that. And I think after the Greg Hardy thing, it put a bad taste in their mouth. Look, they sat around and was like, look, we can no longer do this. We can't do this. We can't sit here and continue to keep signing these players to these big contracts and not reaping the rewards on it, and them not seeing the end of the contract. I get that. But with D-Law, you got to stop playing to get that done. Now, you look at these other teams, they're signing, like the Browns, they're signing all these big-name players. You seen when the Eagles had their so-called dream team a few years back. Hush! You seen when the Eagles had their so-called dream team years back when Chip Kelly was here. Look what happened with that. They flopped. They didn't all work together. Sometimes you put all these all-stars together and it doesn't always work the way you want it to work. So just because the Cowboys didn't get these players, and I understand the frustration because you want somebody. I know a lot of you wanted Earl Thomas bad. I get it. And some of your hearts are broken. I get it. But look, the Cowboys will figure it out. You know what I mean? Eric Berry's out there. They can get Eric Berry. Now, Eric Berry, he had some gruesome injuries too. I don't know about him too much either, but it depends on what the money is. If he accepts $9 million a year, I'll take him. But with that Achilles, I don't know. How much you're gonna play him. It depends on what you're gonna do. There's some safeties in the draft. Maybe you get another guy in free agency. Who knows? But whatever the case may be, I understand the frustration with the fans, you guys. I really do. But again, the sun will shine. It's not over with. Because if you're a real Dallas Cowboy fan, you're going to be there. And I understand the frustration. Trust me, I do. Because I'm frustrated too. That's why I'm doing this rant right now. Because I'm tired of this staff and their conservative ways. And them just sitting there always continuously thinking that we're going to do it our way. And it's going to work. Well, it ain't work. It ain't work. When the last time you won a Super Bowl? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith was on the team. That's when. So, again, you look at then. The salary cap came in 94. So, a lot of our glory days was right before the salary cap era. I don't know if the Cowboys need to figure out how to deal with their salary cap money. Maybe we need to get a better financial advisor in there to come in here and figure out numbers to be able to effectively get players, because I feel like they could get some players if they stop playing around. But it is what it is. I think this year is unique because you have to sign certain players. You got to get Dak, you got to get Zeke, you got to get D-Law. I mean, those are your top three guys, and maybe Amari, who knows. But Amari now is probably going to garnish more money because Antonio Brown got that stupid contract from the Raiders. So, and Antonio Brown is already causing problems with the Raiders. I just saw that he missed the not missed, but he's late. He was late for his press conference, his intro press conference, bro. You can't be late for your intro to your new team. That's why I said. Remember what I said. I heard people say that whole John Gruden, Antonio Brown thing is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be what we think it is. So again, just realize, guys, the grass ain't always green on the other side. I wish Cole Beasley luck in Buffalo. I mean, he may have a great season. Josh Allen, I joked about not knowing I know who Josh Allen is. He's a decent guy. He had 18 touchdowns his rookie year. But he had decent numbers. But again, he's going to be in a whole different environment. He's got to learn their plays and the way that they do things and that quarterback and learn a new rapport with them. But it is what it is. I wish him luck. It is what it is. But we play the Bills next year, so that's going to be interesting too. So I just want you guys to just think about things and just look at it from a different perspective. I get it. We could get some other safeties. We'll figure some things out. Don't worry about that noise outside, because people are always going to talk bad about the Dallas Cowboys, but we don't care. Just keep it. It is what it is. Every team go through their stuff. The Browns were terrible for years. They're just now coming to glory. And who knows? They might be a contender in the AFC this year. So they might even win the AFC. Who knows? You never know. Every year is a gamble. It's like the lottery. And again, I'm sorry for ranting and making this video long, but I felt like it was needed. I had a lot of this on my chest today when I was at work, and I just wanted to spit it out and speak to y'all, because y'all know how I do. I keep it real. So thanks again, guys, all my subscribers. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. It's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real, and I will chat with y'all soon. Y'all have a great evening.